I'm Eric.
I'm Emily.
I'm Mohammed.
And we're doing our public service announcement
For SPE 222 class.
On transitioning into adulthood. Okay, so today we're talking about transitioning into adulthood for people with disabilities. So IDEA, or the Individual with Disabilities Education Act, covers certain categories that we already talked about. We'll just name them again. Covers autism, deaf-blindness, blindness, developmental delay, emotional disturbance, hearing impairment, intellectual disability, multiple disabilities, orthopedic impairment, other health impairment, specific learning disability, speech or language impairment, traumatic brain injury or TBI, and visual impairment, including blindness. So under IDEA, all children with disabilities have an IEP, also called an Individualized Education Plan. And one of IDEA's stated objectives for the IEP is to prepare children with disabilities to lead productive and independent adult lives to the maximum extent possible. So in the IEP, according to IDEA provisions, an IEP is required to have a transition plan beginning at age 16 unless the IEP deems it's necessary to begin that transition plan earlier. They can do that. That's on a case-by-case basis. So the two components that the IEP transition plan must have, the first one is appropriate, measurable post-secondary goals based upon age-appropriate transition assessments related to training, education, employment, and where appropriate, independent living skills. And number two is the transition services needed to assist the child in reaching those goals. And these goals must be updated annually. The child, one more thing. The child should be involved as much as possible to make sure that their individual needs and individual preferences are met accordingly. And that can also involve the family members and everybody else on the IEP team should be involved in this.
Domains of adulthood to consider: post-secondary education, vocational education, integrated employment, continuing and adult education, adult services, independent living, and community participation. Adult services to help transitioning: Vocational Rehabilitation Agency, or the VA, helps independent living centers and Social Security Administration. VRs help people with cognitive, sensory, physical, emotional disabilities to find employment, achieve increased independence. Services include vocational guiding and counseling, assessments to determine potential, job development, placement, follow-up services, rehabilitation, technological services, and housing or transportation. Each one has their own individual requirements and that you need to check within the local qualifications for each VR services. You should visit each vocational rehabilitation agency to check which ones you qualify and what you need to do to qualify. Alright, now independent living centers, or ILCs for short. ILCs are non-residential, community-based agencies that are run by people with various disabilities. ILCs help people with disabilities achieve and maintain self-sufficient lives within the community. Resources: there's the National Council on Independent Living, which you can find at www.ncil.org, and there's the Independent Living Research Utilization Project, which you can find at www.ilru.org. Finally, there's the Social Security Administration, or the SSA for short. This operates the federally funded program that provides benefits for people of any age who are unable to do substantial work or have a severe mental or physical disability. Programs include the Social Security Disability Insurance, or SSDI, Supplemental Social Security Income, or SSI, Plans to Achieve Self-Support, or PASS, PASS, Medicaid, and Medicare. That concludes my part of the presentation.
Students are covered by IDEA from birth until they turn 22 years old. Once they are turning 22, they are no longer covered by IDEA laws, but they do fall under ADA. IDEA ensures success, while ADA ensures access. IDEA is the Americans with Disabilities Act, extends civil rights, non-discrimination protection to people with disability in the following sectors of American life: for private sector employment, transportation, state and local government activities and programs, privately operated business that are open to the public accommodation, and telecommunication. Federal Rights Service Law designed to provide equal opportunity for people with disability, ensures equal access and opportunity, and also protects individuals with disabilities from discrimination. Resources in Arizona. Arizona Department of Education holds a conference for transition students into adulthood annually. This year conference, Arizona 30th Annual Transaction Conference, took place on September 30th until October 2nd, 2013 at Token Stick Resort. This year conference is structured around 3 topical strands. 1, strategies for the enhancing youth success. 2, family involvement. And 3, insurgency, community collaboration. The conference will also include dedicated youth strands designed by and for youth and young adults. The collaborative across stakeholder event includes youth and young adult with disabilities, family member and caregivers. State agencies, staff, educators and service providers and community members who share a community to the successful transition of students to adult life.